Scoring a goal in hockey can take patience, setup, and a lot of hard work. Sometimes, teams go entire games without finding the back of the net. But in Toronto Maple Leafs history, there have been moments so fast, so shocking, that if you blinked, you missed them. We're talking about goals scored in just a few seconds. Goals that left fans stunned, opponents rattled, and the Leafs making history before the game even had a chance to start. Today, we're counting down the 10 fastest goals ever scored in Toronto Maple Leafs history. Before we dive into the countdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, but it really helps us keep bringing you more hockey stories and Leafs history that every fan needs to know. If there's one thing that can change a hockey game instantly, it's a fast goal. Scoring within seconds doesn't just put points on the board, it crushes the other team's spirit and sends the crowd into chaos. These lightning strikes shaped unforgettable moments in Leafs history. Number 10. Charlie Conacher. 7 seconds. Game start, 1931-32. Charlie Conacher wasn't just another player for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was a larger-than-life figure during the 1930s, the kind of star who could dominate a game with his size, strength, and booming shot. Fans back then called him the Big Bomber because of the way he fired the puck. His slap shot was so powerful that goalies feared it, and remember, this was long before modern goalie equipment. In that era, stopping a Conacher shot wasn't just tough, it was dangerous. On one unforgettable night during the 1931-1932 season against the Boston Bruins, Conacher put his name into the Leafs history books with a goal that came just 7 seconds after puck drop. Imagine this, the referee drops the puck, the Leafs gain possession, and before most fans even found their seats or took off their coats, Conacher blasted the puck into the net. 7 seconds, that's all it took. It wasn't just the fastest goal in Leafs history at the time, it was a reminder of just how dominant and intimidating he really was. Conacher was part of the legendary Kid line alongside Joe Primo and Busher Jackson, one of the most famous lines in NHL history. Together, they carried the Leafs to great success, and Charlie himself won 2 scoring titles and became a household name in Canada. His quick strike goal against the Bruins only added to his legend. It showed how dangerous he was right from the first faceoff, capable of turning a game upside down before the other team even had a chance to react. What makes this even more impressive is that Conacher wasn't known for finesse or sneaky plays. He was a straight shooter, a big, powerful forward who thrived on overwhelming opponents. That 7-second goal perfectly captured his style, direct, fearless, and impossible to ignore. It's one of those records that fans still talk about nearly a century later, proof that the Big Bomber always meant business. Number 9. Ted Kennedy. 8 seconds. Game start, 1953-54. When you talk about the greatest captains in Toronto Maple Leafs history, Ted Kennedy's name always rises to the top. Known as Teeter to fans and teammates, Kennedy wasn't flashy, and he wasn't the kind of player who relied on brute force. Instead, he was all about heart, leadership, and determination. He played every shift like it mattered, and that passion is what made him a 5-time Stanley Cup champion with the Leafs. In the 1953-54 season, Kennedy stamped his name into the record books with a goal just 8 seconds after the opening faceoff. To score that quickly, you need more than just speed. You need anticipation, quick thinking, and the ability to catch the other team off guard. That's exactly what Kennedy did. He wasn't the biggest guy on the ice, but he had a knack for being in the right place at the right time. Before the Bruins could even settle into their defensive positions, Kennedy slipped through and buried the puck, leaving fans stunned. What makes this moment so special is that it came from a player who wasn't known for highlight reel goals. Kennedy's game was built on grit and consistency. He was a playmaker, a grinder, and a captain who always led by example. Scoring that early was just another way of showing how mentally sharp and prepared he was, even from the very first drop of the puck. Kennedy's quick strike proved that fast goals weren't just for speedsters or pure goal scorers. They could also come from players who had the brains and the instincts to read the game perfectly. It was also a glimpse of why he became such a respected leader, eventually serving as captain for 8 seasons, and winning the Hart Trophy as league MVP in 1955. Number 8, Mitchell Marner. 7 seconds. Game start, January 3rd, 2019 versus Minnesota. Fast forward almost 90 years after Charlie Conacher's record-setting strike, and the Maple Leafs had a new star carrying the torch. Mitchell Marner, one of the faces of the modern Leafs, tied the legendary mark with a goal just 7 seconds into the game against the Minnesota Wild on January 3rd, 2019. Fans at Scotiabank Arena barely had time to sit down, let alone cheer, before Marner had already put the puck in the net. Marner has always been known for his creativity and hockey sense. He's not the biggest player on the ice, but his quick hands and ability to read plays make him one of the most dangerous forwards in the NHL. On that night, he wasted no time showing it. The Leafs won the faceoff, pushed the puck forward, and within a blink, Marner was in the perfect spot to finish. For Minnesota, it must have felt like the game hadn't even started yet, and they were already behind. What makes this moment so special isn't just the speed of the goal, but who scored it. Marner grew up a die-hard Leafs fan in Markham, Ontario, dreaming of moments like this. To tie a franchise record that had stood since the days of Conacher connected him directly to the legends of the past. It was like history coming full circle, but with a modern superstar wearing the blue and white. The timing of the goal also fired up the crowd in a way few moments can. Leafs fans are used to dramatic goals, but this one was pure shock value. 7 seconds after the puck hit the ice, the building erupted. For a team built around speed and skill, Marner's lightning strike symbolized everything the new Leafs were about. That night, Marner showed that quick strike goals aren't just part of history books, they're alive and well in today's game. And for the fans, it was a reminder that every second counts, especially when Mitch Marner is on the ice. Number 7, William Nylander, 33 seconds, game start. When William Nylander is on the ice, you can almost feel that something dangerous is about to happen. With his smooth skating, quick release, and calm confidence, he has a way of making tough plays look easy. That's exactly what happened when Nylander joined the illustrious club of Maple Leafs, who scored fast goals to start a period or game. For a player often debated by fans and media, sometimes criticized for being too laid back, this kind of goal was the perfect reminder of how explosive he can be when he's locked in. The faceoff barely hit the ice, the puck slid his way, and Nylander wasted no time putting it behind the goalie just 33 seconds into the game. Just like that, the Leafs were ahead, and Nylander had his name etched alongside other Leafs legends. What made it even more special was Nylander's style. Unlike Conacher's booming shot or Kennedy's gritty determination, Nylander's strike was all about finesse. His quick release caught the goalie completely off guard. It was the kind of goal that shows why the Leafs drafted him 8th overall in 2014. His mix of vision and finishing ability is rare, and when it clicks, it's electric. Moments like this also highlight Nylander's knack for rising in big situations. Over the years, he has become one of Toronto's most reliable playoff performers, leading the team in scoring during multiple postseason runs. That ability to deliver under pressure makes his 33-second goal feel like more than just a fast start. It's part of the story of a player who thrives when the spotlight is on him. For Leafs fans, Nylander's goal was a thrill. It wasn't just about tying a franchise record, it was proof that the team's modern stars could match the magic of past greats. In the blink of an eye, Nylander turned a regular game into a piece of Maple Leafs history. Number 6, William Nylander, 4 to 5 seconds. Period start, 2017-18. William Nylander makes another appearance on this list, and for good reason. In the 2017-18 season, he struck so quickly at the start of a period that the official clock showed only 4 to 5 seconds had passed. Most players need that time just to set up a rush or dump the puck in. Nylander used it to put the puck in the back of the net. What made this goal stand out wasn't just the timing, it was the suddenness. The puck dropped, a quick play developed, and Nylander was already in the right spot to finish. The goalie barely had time to get set, and before anyone realized what happened, the horn was blaring. Fans in the arena looked at the scoreboard in disbelief. How could a goal happen that fast? That's the kind of impact Nylander brings when his instincts take over. This goal also showed the modern Leafs identity: speed, skill, and sharp execution. In an era where games are faster than ever, Nylander proved he could use his skating burst and shooting touch to make something happen instantly. No grinding shift, no drawn-out play, just raw talent converting on the very first touch. For Nylander personally, this was another step in proving his worth. At the time, he was still cementing his place in Toronto's core, often overshadowed by names like Auston Matthews and Mitch Marner. But a goal like this reminded everyone that Nylander had his own flair for the dramatic. Not many players can flip a period upside down in less than 5 seconds. Fans love quick strikes because they change the energy of a game in an instant. 1 second you're settling in with a fresh drink or chatting with your neighbor, and the next, Nylander is celebrating by the glass. That's the magic of his 2017-18 lightning bolt. A goal that proved how dangerous he is the moment the puck drops. Number 5, Matt Sundin. 6 seconds. Overtime 1995-96. When you think of the Toronto Maple Leafs in the late 1990s and early 2000s, one name stands above the rest: Matt Sundin. The big Swedish center wasn't just the team's captain, he was the face of the franchise, a player who carried the Leafs through thick and thin. Known for his powerful stride, lethal wrist shot, and calm leadership, Sundin built a reputation as one of the most consistent scorers in the league. In the 1995-96 season, Sundin showed that he didn't need much time to make an impact. During an overtime period, he managed to score in just 6 seconds, one of the fastest overtime goals in NHL history. Think about that for a moment. Most players barely finished their first skate down the ice in that time, but Sundin had already found a way to beat the goalie. It was the kind of lightning strike that left both fans and opponents stunned. This goal highlighted one of Sundin's greatest strengths, his ability to use size and speed together. At 6 feet 5 inches, he was bigger than most centers in the league, yet he moved with surprising quickness. On this play, that combination worked perfectly. Off the draw, Sundin powered his way forward, caught the defense flat-footed, and with that famous wrist shot, buried the puck before anyone could react. Moments like this also spoke to Sundin's leadership. He wasn't just a scorer. He was someone who could set the tone instantly. Scoring right at the start of overtime isn't just about getting a goal. It's about swinging momentum, waking up the bench, and letting the other team know they're in for a long night. For Leafs fans, Sundin's quick strike goal in 1995-96 was another reason why he remains one of the most beloved players in franchise history. It was classic Sundin, strong, skillful, and decisive, showing once again why he wore the C with such pride. If you're enjoying the list so far, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. We've still got the fastest of the fast coming up, and trust me, you don't want to miss the goals that made NHL history in just a blink. Number 4, Frank Mahovlich, 4 to 5 seconds. Period start, 1960 to 61. Frank Mahovlich, known to fans as the Big M, was one of the most dominant forwards the Toronto Maple Leafs ever had. Standing tall with a graceful stride and a rocket of a shot, he was the kind of player who could change a game the moment he touched the puck. During the 1960 to 61 season, Mahovlich showed just how explosive he could be by scoring a goal only 4 to 5 seconds into a period, one of the fastest starts in Leafs history. What made this goal so impressive is how it captured Mahovlich's playing style. He wasn't a grinder or a flashy stick handler, but he had an incredible mix of size, speed, and skill. Off the opening draw, he pushed past defenders with ease, and with that smooth, powerful release, the puck was already in the net before the goalie had a chance to settle. It was classic Mahovlich, simple, strong, and devastatingly effective. Mahovlich was more than just a scorer, he was a superstar. He won the Calder Trophy as Rookie of the Year in 1958, led the Leafs in scoring multiple times, and played a huge role in the team's dynasty years, winning 4 Stanley Cups in the 1960s. His ability to deliver in big moments made him a fan favorite, and this lightning-fast goal was a perfect example of why. For the opposing team, it must have been demoralizing. You come out of the locker room fresh for a new period, ready to reset the game plan, and within seconds, you're already down a goal. That's the kind of blow that only a player of Mahovlich's caliber could deliver. For Leafs fans, the Big M's quick strike goal remains a reminder of his greatness. He was a forward who carried both power and elegance, and in just a handful of seconds, he could tilt the ice completely in Toronto's favor. Number 3, Ed O'Chick and Gary Leeman. 4 seconds apart, third period versus Quebec Nordique, December 29th, 1988. The 1980s were a wild time for hockey, fast-paced, high-scoring, and full of dramatic moments. On December 29th, 1988, the Toronto Maple Leafs gave fans one of the fastest offensive bursts in franchise history. Just 4 seconds apart in the third period against the Quebec Nordique, Ed O'Chick and Gary Leeman scored goals that stunned everyone in the building. What made this moment so memorable was how quickly it unfolded. The puck dropped, and before fans could even settle back into their seats after the intermission, the Leafs had already put up 2 quick goals. O'Chick, a talented forward with a nose for the net, jumped on the play right away, scoring to ignite the offense. Leeman, known for his scoring touch, followed just seconds later, making it a true demonstration of Toronto's offensive threat. By the time Quebec realized what was happening, the scoreboard had changed dramatically in the Leafs' favor. 4 seconds? That was all that separated these 2 quick strikes. O'Chick and Leeman were key players for Toronto during that era. O'Chick had been a steady offensive force since joining the Leafs, and Leeman was just starting to show the goal-scoring ability that would later make him a 50-goal scorer in the early 1990s. For both of them, these quick goals weren't just another tally on the score sheet, they were highlights that showcased their chemistry and ability to strike without warning. For the Nordique, it had to be crushing. A new period is supposed to be a fresh start, a chance to reset the game plan. Instead, within seconds, they were already chasing from behind before they could even get organized. For Leafs fans, though, it was one of those unforgettable, did that really just happen moments. The O'Chick Leeman quick strike still stands as proof of how dangerous Toronto's offense could be in the blink of an eye. Number 2, James Van Riemsdyk, 4 seconds. Second period versus Flyers, March 29th, 2014. James Van Riemsdyk had a knack for being in the right place at the right time. On March 29, 2014, against the Philadelphia Flyers, he gave Leafs fans one of the fastest goals in franchise history, scoring just 4 seconds into the second period. It happened so quickly that many people watching at home were still coming back from the commercial break, and fans inside the arena were still making their way back to their seats with snacks and drinks. Suddenly, the horn went off, and the Leafs were on the board. The play itself was all about timing and awareness. The puck dropped, Toronto moved it cleanly, and JVR, with his quick release, made no mistake. 4 seconds in, and the goalie had no chance. It wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. Starting a period that way completely changes the energy of the game. For the Leafs bench, it was an instant boost. For the Flyers, it was a gut punch before they even had a chance to get set. JVR's goal also fit perfectly with the style of his game. At 6 feet 3 inches, he was a big forward who combined size with soft hands, especially around the net. Whether it was redirecting pucks, scoring on rebounds, or snapping off quick shots, he knew how to finish plays in the tight moments. That ability made him one of Toronto's most reliable goal scorers during his time with the team, and this lightning-fast strike was one of his best highlights in a Leafs uniform. For fans, it was pure excitement. There's something thrilling about seeing a goal happen almost instantly, and JVR delivered one of the fastest ever. It's a play that still gets mentioned whenever quick goals are talked about in Leafs history. 4 seconds into a period, and James Van Riemsdyk had already made his mark. Number 1, Sid Smith. One of the fastest playoff goals. 1950s. Sid Smith may not be the first name that comes to mind when you think of Maple Leafs legends, but in the 1950s, he was one of the team's most reliable and respected players. A 3-time Stanley Cup champion and team captain, Smith was known for his hard work, consistency, and quiet leadership. But on one incredible night, he did something that still stands as one of the most remarkable records in the Leafs history, scoring one of the fastest goals to start a playoff game. Think about the setting for a moment. The pressure of the playoffs is unlike anything else in hockey. Every second matters. Every mistake is magnified, and goals are usually hard to come by. Yet Sid Smith didn't just score quickly, he scored almost instantly. The puck dropped, the play moved forward, and before fans could even settle into the intensity of postseason hockey, the Leafs already had the lead. In just seconds into a playoff game, the scoreboard had tilted Toronto's way. For Smith, this goal was the perfect symbol of his approach to the game. He wasn't the flashiest player, but he was dependable and smart, always ready to capitalize on an opportunity. In the playoffs, where nerves can overwhelm even the best players, Smith showed complete composure. His quick strike not only gave Toronto momentum, but also sent a clear message to the opposition. The Leafs were ready from the very first drop of the puck. This goal remains one of the fastest ever recorded in NHL playoff history and still holds a special place in the Leafs record book. For fans, it's a reminder of a time when Sid Smith helped lead the team through one of its proudest eras. In just seconds, he made playoff history, a moment that still echoes decades later as one of the greatest quick strikes the Maple Leafs have ever seen. And there you have it. The 10 fastest goals in Toronto Maple Leafs history. From Charlie Conacher in the 1930s to modern stars like Mitch Marner and William Nylander, these moments prove that every second on the ice counts. A goal can happen before you even catch your breath, and that's what makes hockey so thrilling. If you enjoyed this countdown, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which Leafs fast goal is your favorite. Until next time, keep your eyes on the puck. Because in Leafs history, the biggest moments can happen in just seconds.